So I think we'll give 2-3 more minutes for brothers and sisters to join, and then we can start by sharp 11:05. Is it fine, Arif bhai?
Perfectly fine, Shahid bhai.
Okay.
You're the host, you're the moderator. Whatever you say, I'll say yes to it.
So the weather is pleasant, so I think it has its own impact. So it is good for
Alhamdulillah.
brother spend some time for the learning as well. It's a good opportunity, mashallah. Yeah. I request participant to go on mute.
बच्चे ने क्या कहा सुन नहीं रहा है नहीं रहे ना
Okay. Am I audible?
You are Shahid bhai. Yeah.
Let's get started. I request all the participants to go on mute. So let us allow Arif bhai to speak. Okay. So I thanks everyone here who has taken out time to attend this special session today from Arif bhai. So he is a regular speaker, mashallah. So he is holding a very big post in his company. So he's a VP, Vice President. So let me just almost, I think, more than 20 years of experience. And his area of expertise is very unique. So I'll allow him to speak about his expertise also. so that people are aware of various fields where we have the opportunities to groom ourselves. Okay, so without taking much of your time, Arif bhai, so over to you. So you can talk about yourself briefly and then take us through the journey towards success.
Inshallah. Worldly success, I can say. So we'll talk about that today. But before I could get started, correct? Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So have you ever attended my session? If yes, then type yes in the chat box. If no, you can type first session or FS in the chat box. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Sure. Nice. I see a lot of the first timers. So I will not bore you by talking only about myself. But what I will do is we will ask you a few more questions than we can do. Before we could get started, correct? Could you also tell me which city in the country you're from? And if you're from Hyderabad, which place are you from? Just type in the chat box. So we will use a lot of, lot of chat box today so that the session is interactive and I don't bore you enough. Okay. Excellent. Go ahead. Ranchi, Delhi, Kanpur, Hyderabad, Jamyanagar, Delhi. Excellent. BHL, Hyderabad, Ambur, Tamil Nadu. Excellent. Welcome, welcome everybody. Hyderabad, Kismatpur. Okay. This is what I love about all being online, correct? For anybody to attend any session like this in physical, you had to travel. Now you're sitting at the leisure of your home, and then you get to attend from all over India, correct? And I'm glad I could see a lot of them. Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. I have few rules and regulations to do by, correct? If you are multitasking, session is not for you, drop off right away because you can't multitask on this one. Correct. If you're on a phone, probably try switching to better system, probably a laptop or whatever, which will suit little early, and then you can see and then hear and all that a lot better. Okay, that's one. The other thing that I have for all of you is, do you have pen and paper handy? So that you can make points, note of important points, correct? If you have pen and paper handy, type PP in the chat box. Type PP in the chat box if you have pen and paper handy. Else, you can take a minute to get it. I'm saying, yeah. I mean the word P, the letter P, the letter P. Okay, Ahmedabad. Excellent. Arranged. Minute. Okay, to get absolutely. The other important thing is the more you engage in the chat box, the better you take away. Okay. PP. Excellent. Go grab pen and paper or whatever you have handy that you can try using throughout the day. I see few of us are slowly joining. Okay, which is fine. So if you have pen and paper handy, type P and P. It could be pencil, it could be whatever. Okay. Type P and P in chat box. I just see 1, 2, 3. Okay. Slowly, P and P. Thank you. Sheikh Abdul Mujib, Tabriz. Excellent. Okay. Because there's no point attending a session like a lecture, correct? Where you don't make any points and there are no takeaways. If there are no takeaways, it's a waste of time. Waste of your time, waste of my time as well. Correct. Inshallah, I am sure there will be some or the other takeaway today. Okay. PNP, PNP. Excellent. Okay. So let's get started today. And let me share my screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen and you can hear me clearly. So type AV, audio visual, AV in the chat box if you can hear me and if you can see my screen in the chat box. Excellent. AV, 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 AV. Okay. Amazing. So we have pen and paper handy. We have everything handy. Now I have amazing questions for you. I'll ask a lot of questions, so don't worry much. Okay. So that, we have a lot more engagement coming through. Okay. So here is my first question for you. How many of us wants to achieve 3x growth in your company without compromising on work-life balance? If you want, then type me in the chat box. Don't say everybody, just talk about yourself. If you want, then type me in the chat box. The way I can't speak for you, you can't speak for me as well. Okay. So we'll talk only about ourselves. Okay. Excellent. Me. Okay. Before you could dive in, correct, to unlock the secrets. So let's look at something else. Okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter if you join or not. How can you get is the secret. And you're joining in early to know that. That could be, an amazing thing to know. I wish somebody would have told me all these secrets at the earlier part of my career. I would have, scaled up at least 4 times more. Okay. So how many of you want to have an extraordinary career? Extraordinary career. Type EX in the chat box if you want to have extraordinary career. Amazing. Okay. Thank you so much. So what is that we will discover today together? Okay. First, we'll talk about what is professional mindset. When I'm talking about professional mindset, what are the basic expectation and what is that should go in your mind so that, you make better decisions. You are always, in sync with somebody who is in top 1% of the population and all that. Correct? How many of us wants to have a mindset with a few simple steps to keep in mind, and then you are counted as one of those professional mindsets in the in your company and the organizations? Type me if you want that kind of a professional mindset with simple steps. Okay. Excellent. Okay. And we'll explore that slow and steady. Influence and leadership. How many of us wants to have, an amazing influence and the secret sauce of how do I progress multiple folds in the organization without any, hindrances? Correct. If you want, type leadership, influence and leadership, I and L in the chat box. I and L in the chat box. Excellent. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Today we'll learn a little about it. Okay. Then personal brand. Generally what happens is we don't know who we are. Correct. Unless you see an ad, you don't go buy. Correct. If you don't go buy a toothpaste without seeing an ad of it, how is that somebody will promote you just like that without even knowing you. So we'll explore that a little more today in terms of how do we build a brand and how do we look at it. Correct? If you want to know a little more about personal brand and how can you take that forward, type PB, personal brand, in the chat box. Okay, excellent. The other one is, workplace performance. What are the key metrics that any workplace ideally looks at, and then you should be aware of it. Okay, we'll talk that also today. Before I could move ahead and try, talking about all these multiple aspects that we will try covering today, I want to congratulate you for being somebody who wants to learn. Today is Sunday, 11 o'clock. You could have done anything in the world, including taking rest and sleeping, because you would have had breakfast, chai, and a rest on the bed would have been a perfect Sunday. But you went out of your comfort zone to stand up and learn a new skill and learn something, whatever is coming in. If you have spent this hour and a half or two together, and if you have something to take away for your life, nothing like it. Thank you so much for investing, and I honor this time, and I'm really grateful for you spending that time with me. Sure. And I promise there'll be some or the other takeaway for you today. So do I have your permission to introduce myself? Because I would want to tell you who I am also without boring you much. If I have your permission, type P in the chat box. Sure. Thank you so much. So we'll start slow and steady, and then we'll take it forward. Okay. So who am I? My name is Mohammed Arif Sabeel. I work as an operating leader and an assistant vice president. My next level is a vice president. And I also run and do a coaching and run a program called Elevate Your Career in an NGO, which is called PSF. And I also lead a vertical lead and all that. So what does this program cover primarily? Primarily, I focus on mindset. I focus on how do you build influence at workplace. It could be emotional intelligence, it could be leadership, it could be all that. And how do you create your brand, and how do you create that performance magic at workplace? So this is what primarily I cover, and that's what the expertise of mine, and that is my framework in terms of, it covers all aspects of having a successful career. Because I think, alhamdulillah, I had a pretty good success in my career, and and this was the time for me to give back to the community, give back to the society, and be of some value to others, and not just me. Okay. What also I do parallelly, I also help MSMEs, which are small scale, medium enterprises, which are primarily to do with, as a startup, they would have, got everything in place from a technology and all that, but now they are growing in business. And a lot of them struggle with how to build high performance teams. And I get in touch with you. And they get in touch with me, and that's how I try helping them. The other thing is, how many of us are aware of something called, oops, okay, sorry. How many of us are aware of something called Great Places to Work, GPTW? If you're aware of something which is called Great Places to Work survey, type GPTW. If you're aware of it, type GPTW. Okay, excellent. I have few that know about what is GPTW. So I'll talk about this one, correct? GPTW is a worldwide body that does survey on companies, or they come and do a work culture check. They come and do how the companies are performing, how leaders are taking care of their teams, how managers are taking care of their teams. Okay, and they do a anonymous survey, and that's how the results gets populated, and that's how the score comes and all that. Correct. Last year, or the last survey, my team, I lead a team of 250 people, and my team gave me 10% or 100% score It means whatever I as a leader is doing for the organization and for them, it is working, and they also feel that they have everything is fair. There are enough opportunities in the business, and also we are going for. Okay, and that is an achievement on its own as well. If you look at last 4 years, I have always been on high 90s. Is that a normal score? No. Generally, correct, on an average, people get around 80, 85 is the industry average, but I score really on high. It means what I'm doing and what I'm teaching, I know what I'm doing. Okay, so that's about me, but this is not about me as such, correct? This is about you. What is that we will take you forward, correct? I have few more questions for you, and I will take you there. Okay, so the first question that I would want to ask you, okay, or I would want to see if you resonate with any of these things that we are trying to talk about. Okay, the first one is, sometimes do you feel, or often do you feel, you're overlooked? You are tired of giving your best and still feel invisible at work. Sometimes there's no recognition at all. You're putting all your effort, you're doing everything possible, but things are not working for you. Okay. Or office politics is holding you back, and you're fed up of this sick and navigating this workplace drama, correct? Sometimes the problem with the peers, sometimes problem with managers, sometimes problem with stakeholders, sometimes this, sometimes that, but you feel there is something which is conspiring and holding you back and not letting you go, correct? Or if you have a boss or a stakeholder or a peer who is unreasonable targets, unreasonable demands, and frustrated about how do I fulfill them? How do I take this? And sometimes they become really impossible to achieve, and that's how I become overwhelmed. Correct. Another one is about feeling stuck. In this, I am not growing. There are not enough opportunities, and and I feel like it's a dead end for my job, and so much is happening around me, and things are not moving out. Okay. Another one is uncertain career path. I don't know what do I do next. I don't know where do I stand in next 5 years for myself. I don't see a clear vision, or I see invisible ceiling. It means whatever I could have grown until now, I have grown, and there is a stoppage for me, and I can't move ahead anymore. Correct. I have given numbers for all of these. Type this in the chat box. Which number do you resonate? It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be multiple numbers. It could be one, or it could be anything. Just type the numbers that you resonate with. And because you're not on video, nobody knows you much, it is okay to express yourself. The more you know where exactly you are, the better. Excellent. All okay. 1, 2, 4, 6. Sure. 6. Okay. Amazing. Go ahead. Express. Put it up. This is the safest forum. Correct. You can't go back and talk about this to anybody at workplace or anything. This is the time that you can. The more you put in, the more I understand about, what is that you need. I need to talk more on. Okay. Excellent. 6. Yeah. 1, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1. Sure. That's it. Any more? Don't stop yourself. That's what I'm saying. If you're doing multitasking, this session is not for you, because you will take away some valuable insights. If you're focused and you have a pen and paper handy, and this session is for you. Okay. Now, the other contradictory question that I have for you is, do you think top 1% of the performers in the industry, do they feel the same challenges? Or do they have a better coping mechanism? Better coping mechanism. Better coping mechanism. Type BCM in the chat box if you know. Thanks, Sufyan. If they have a better coping mechanism, type BCM. BCM in the chat box. Because when you approach or I approach for a promotion, manager, stakeholder, or somebody comes and tells you're not eligible for promotion now. You're eligible, but there are no vacancies. I am hit with a company is hit with a recession, company is moving slow, industry is slow, so we can't promote you. We lost a lot of business because of AI, hence we can't do it. We can promote you, but we can't give you salary. But top 1% always get promoted, every 2 years, 3 years, and they have promotions at their hand coming in. It means they have something which they are able to cope up, something they are able to do. Correct? I just see 3 BCM, better coping mechanism. Do you think they have a better coping mechanism? Or do you think they know how to handle stuff better? Or do you think they have nothing in mind? They are just, blabbering or doing chamchagiri with their boss or whoever. If you feel that way, also put it in the chat box. If you feel they don't have any better coping mechanism, tell a no in the chat box. If you feel they have a better coping mechanism, type BCM in the chat box. Now I'm starting to see more. Okay, have them on, have them on. Because if you're there, then I'll tell you what is going in their mind. Okay, at the end, correct, I'll talk about this game called cricket. There are bowlers, there are batsmen, there are better teams, there are everything else, correct? You go and talk to the Kapil Devs, the Dhonis, the Virat Kohlis of the world, or Sachins of the world and all that. Everybody tells it's a mind game. Everybody tells it's a mind game. Where is cricket? Where is bat and the ball and the field and somebody's coming, putting in, but why are they talking it's a mind game? Why do you think they're telling it's a mind game? Do you believe it's a mind game? If yes, then type yes in the chat box. If it is a mind game, type yes in the chat box. And if you've heard them tell so many times. Excellent. Most of us agree that, it's a mind game. Correct? We've heard them tell us so many times like that. Do you want me to tell you what is going on with them in their mind? Do you want me to tell you the secret? Okay. Yes, please. Yes. Only 2 people wants to know and nobody else. Put more yeses so that I can talk about. Okay. Excellent. Because they very much know who they are and who they want to become. They are very, 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 very aligned of who they are and who they want to become. They are very clear in their mind. Correct? They are aligned of who they are and who they want to become. Why do I repeat so many times? So that it strikes you. They are very clear in that alignment. Look at Virat Kohli, correct? When he walked into, why I give these names? Because these are popular names and coming through. When he actually started playing cricket, he was chubby. Everybody knows, correct? And there is one day he gets up and then looks at himself as, if I want to be the world's best player, this is how he does not look like. So what does he do? He starts to change his regime all through. What he thinks, what he eats, and how he takes actions. And that's how you look him the fittest in the world today. What he drinks as a water is different. What he eats as a food is different. And he's still a human. But the goal is so big, and he is very clear in the mind what he wants to become. Hence the transformation. Do you think he is aligned? Type A in the chat box if you think he is aligned. And if you resonate with whatever I'm saying. Type A in the chat box. But what about us? But what about us? Let's look at where all the alignment happens. Okay. When I'm talking about alignment, let's look at where all the alignment happens. Correct? The alignment happens in the mind. Okay. The moment I'll talk about erstwhile era in the cricket, correct? The moment they used to either visit West Indies or Australia or anywhere, they were so overwhelmed about everything that was happening. So the first thought was a fear. Will I be able to hit this guy? What if he hits me with a bouncer? Look at his space. Look at the body he's built. Look at the stature that they have. And what I am doing and telling my mind, all the words that are fearful. But look at Virat Kohli, what he's saying in one of the interviews. I wish I could play that. But you know what he says? I visualize how am I hitting them in my mind. I play like that. When I'm walking, when I'm gymming, when I'm doing everything, I'm visualizing how do I deal with this situation. And when he actually gets on the ground, everything is so smooth. So where is he aligned? He is aligned in his mind, both mentally and emotionally. The another one is in his words. What he does talk to himself. The first thing that comes to our mind when we hear about any activity to be done, project to be done, any additional initiatives that is coming my way, the first question is, why should I do it? I can't do it. Why only me? Why does he give me so much work? Correct? The words itself, and also what credit will I get? Correct? The words itself are on the back foot. And how can you be among the top 1%? Correct? Top 1% are achievers. They push every needle possible. Look at Elon Musk thinking about a rocket that could launch, go to Mars, correct, and come back. Look at all the rockets that he is launching. They are going up, they are reusable, they are coming down. Never happened in the history. Electric cars, they were cars, but electric, we know that we didn't have a capacity, we didn't have, but he has a car and he is beating that. A complete industry, combustion engines are on the verge of extinct because of him. Look at, Steve Jobs, iPhones, the pads. We all know we had this keys to type. Screen was smaller. Now you look at every phone is like, screen touch screens, correct? They're all achievers in mind. So they're pushing. It means what they talk to themselves is also very clear in their mind. And the third one is about taking actions. It means what I think, what I tell, and what I do is in alignment with who I am, where I want to go. Who am I, and what do I want to become? That's in straight alignment. But is the journey easy? No, because whenever there is an alignment, correct, you will go through ups and down, up and down, sometimes lot more down, but they are consistent in their approach. And that's how the professional mindset is. Does he want to go to a gym? No, but he does every day. Correct? I'm talking about Virat Kohli the way. Do they want to play cricket same day, same thing every day? They do it because that's how their standards are. For us, we miss deadlines. Why? What I promised and what actions did I take did not match my words. And I'm missing my targets. And I keep pushing them sometimes. Correct? It means there's something in me that is not in sync. Always understand, if you need an exponential growth in your career, keep this very thing in mind. What you promise is what you deliver. And always in mind, you're thinking about, how do I achieve? Where can I get these answers from? Who can give me? Instead of the negative version, I don't know. This is always like this. I can't make it. Nobody is helping me. These are all negative tangents. The other ones are, who can help me? Where can I get the information from? Where am I talking? Talking to myself a lot more. Am I taking appropriate actions? Do I stand by my words? If all these was a reality check, type RC in the chat box. Excellent. Now I'm seeing the chat box flow. Now, if you promise yourself that you will think positively always, irrespective of the situation, and you will stand by your words, what you promise to others, and also yourself, and you will take the actions appropriately. If you are the one who is promising yourself you will do that, type PM in the chat box, which is professional mindset. Because that's how top 1% think. That's how top 1% do. Understand, if Steve Jobs would have been okay with the industry standards and agreed to a touchpad, uh, you know, keys pad, correct? Keypad thing, because BlackBerry was keypad by then. They're not there anymore. Would we ever had a screen that has a touch on it? Because there was no technology at that point in time. Also think about Elon Musk. Would we have an electric car that popular? Correct? We had a smaller versions of it. That's the professional mindset in your mind, very, 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 very clearly. Excellent. So now I have a professional mindset, but how do I create that impact at workplace in an organization? What happens with that? Do you want to know? Type BIO in the chat box. Bring it on if you want to know more about these ones. Excellent. Correct. Now tell me, correct? As a whole person, there are three important aspects in us. One is my core personality, who I am as an individual. How am I brought up? How is my mental structure and what are my behaviors and all that? There are other two aspects. Correct? What are the other two aspects? Would you know? Type in the chat box if you know there are, what are the other two aspects. If no, I'll not complicate your life. One is IQ, which is your intelligent quotient. And another one is your emotional quotient. What is EQ or emotional intelligence? Correct? These three constitute almost a whole of a person. Correct? One is your IQ, another one is your EQ. EQ is your emotional intelligence. IQ is your intellect. Correct? And at workplace, we need both. Correct? But who plays better at work? Who plays better at somebody who has a high IQ plays better at work, who is an intelligent guy, or somebody who has high emotional intelligence? Type in the chat box. So which one do you think is really important at workplace? Both EQ, EQ. Okay, both. Both. Okay, EQ, EQ, both. Why is nobody saying IQ? Because I remember when I was growing up, I was feeling people in IIMs, people in ISBs, people in these all big institutions, IITs and all that, correct? I thought they are the ones who will kill the workplace, but you guys are telling something else. Okay, let's explore that a little, correct? What is that intelligent quotient have an impact at workplace at a ground level when somebody walks in, correct? The first one is this survey is done on 5 lakh working professionals. And I'm not just making up any number here. Okay. 2 out of 10. What 2 out of 10? People with highest IQ level outperform with somebody who is an average only 20% of the times. It means only 2 out of 10 perform better if they have highest IQ. Also, 7 out of 10. What is 7 out of 10? People with average IQ outperform people with highest IQ 70% of the times. It means even if I have an average IQ, I will outperform somebody who has a great mind 7 times or 70% of the times. If this analysis was an eye opener, type EO in the chat box. It means if you just have an average IQ, you will still be amazing at workplace. You need not have a sharpest of the brain. So let's talk about what does emotional quotient have to do with it, or an emotional intelligence. Okay. 9 out of 10. It means 90% of high performers are high on EQ. 90% of high performers are high on EQ. It means they are emotionally intelligent. It means if I have an average IQ and a high emotional intelligence, I can be among the top, 10% of the performers in the company or industry or wherever. Correct? Look at the other stat. 2 out of 10. Only 2 or 20% of them are bottom performers. Probably they are not willing to work, probably whatever. People with a high EQ, only 20% of them are in the bottom line. Rest everybody is at the top. Now tell me, do you need to have EQ at workplace? If yes, then type EQ in the chat box. Do you want to know what is EQ or how it can be built? Yes. Type BIO in the chat box if you want to know. Bring it on. Karima will figure out. Okay. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is not about just being nice. I am a nice guy. It is not about just being nice. It is also not about suppressing your emotions. It is also not about giving free reins to your emotions. It means jo dil mein aaya, jaisa nikla waisa phat 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 phat. It is also not about that. It is also not about just being robot without any feelings, without any emotion. Just come do your work. Just come do your work. Don't care about anybody. It is not about that also. It is also not about being passive. What does being passive? अच्छा भाई जिसका जो हो रहा होने दो मेरा काम जो है वो कर लेता हूँ. I am okay with anything and everything. It is not about that also. Then what it is about? It is about right response, not react, response at the right time to the right person. It is about right response to the right at the right time to the right person. It means if I'm a manager and I have a team member who messed up. Now, before going there, let me add this. Correct? We have kids at home. Correct? If you don't have kids, there are other kids in your family or wherever. Just observe them. Correct? Few of them you call and tell once, that will be enough for them. For a few, you will have to tell more than 2, 3, 4 times. For some, unless you raise a stick or a voice, they will not move. Correct? So there are multiple categories of kids or whatever. Right? But for the first child who just listens, or if you give a gaze, that person will move out. What point in shouting at that person? Because that response is not required for that person, for that kid. Correct? You just give a look, give a pat saying that don't do again. That's it. Message is gone. But the last one, correct, who needs a shouting of a voice, what happens? You go and say, oh, you know what? It's okay, don't repeat next time. He will keep repeating, he or she will keep repeating. Unless you'll have to raise voice and tell, that's when they will listen. It means the right response for a right individual. So I'll talk this amazing thing, correct, which is called different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. Like in cricket, if you want to hit the ball to 6, force is different. If you want to do a drive, the force is different. If you want to just nudge for a single, it's different because the balls are different and the player is playing a different game on all of them. Hence, I say right response, right time, right person. The person is already tensed. You don't have to tell that. Just give an encouraging word and that will work. You can pick up another time to talk about that. If I am an subordinate and my manager is shouting, da, 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 and there is no point you talking back because the person has lost his mind. What you can do? Not the right time. Figure out the right time and then come back with a rebuttal or your response. Because your brain is hardwired. It means there are 3 major parts in a brain. One is spinal cord, where all the information comes from. Another one is your emotional brain, which is we call as a limbic brain. And the third one is a rational brain, which is a modern human brain. Whatever coding, whatever you are doing today is through that rational brain. But limbic brain and spinal cord, the reptilian brain is what we call. So those brains cover 90% of your brain. And rational brain is just 10%, and you're playing in that 10%. And all of this go through those emotions. For you, if you're really, really high on emotions, wait, because this is actually the reaction how it is. Correct? What you do, how do you control it? You just need to be aware if your emotions are high, it is not the time to make a decision. Give yourself time. Time could be 5 minutes, counting 10 minutes, depending on how strong are you on your emotions. It could be sleeping over. When I say sleeping over, giving it a day more. Correct? Suddenly, what you expected as a hike, the hike has gone down 4%, 7%, or whatever. Last year it was 10%, 12%. Now you're boiling inside. Who do I tell? Should I ping my manager or tell him on his face directly that I don't like what it is? Or you sleep over. Have your senses in mind and then go back and do a logical conversation. Correct? That's how Aristotle told. Anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, in the right way is not easy. And that is gist of emotional intelligence. It is not about just throwing up. It is not about hiding everything and covering everything. It is about, I will let you know I am not happy. But when I am in my senses, that I will let you know. Okay. Now, Are you guys okay to do one exercise? If yes, type EX in the chat box. If you're okay to do one small exercise. Sure. Now for next 4 minutes till it becomes 12, think about 3 to 5 situations where you are uncomfortable at workplace. Write briefly about them. Also write what exactly makes you uneasy. What emotions are you feeling in yourself? Put it out in the book or a paper. And also write a one-liner about how do you want to deal with that situation. And once you're doing this, type done in the chat box. Don't ignore. Don't keep quiet. Try writing. I swear after this session, once you're done with this activity, you will be 100 times better in handling that situation. Three more minutes to go. Type done in the chat box once you're done. Excellent. That was fast. Amazing. One more minute. Sure, it's time. Okay, excellent. If this was a mind-blowing thing for you, type MB in the chat box. Mind-blowing, MB. Because how you deal with your people at work, people around you at workplace is really, 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 really important. And hence, all those things will come. it was mind-blowing only for 3, or others also feel the impact of it? That it was worth, spending this time to write and then feel how we could manage. Now we'll venture into the next step, which is about transformational leadership into personal branding. Correct. I have few stats that I would want to show you. There is this research done by Corporate Executive Board, which is called CEB. Okay, this is a research and an advisory firm that helps executives improve their performance. And they did study on 1,000 executives on the topic of visibility at workplace. So what did they come up with? What were their outcomes of the analysis, or outcome of the study that they conducted on 1,000 executives? Do you want to know what was their outcome? If yes, then type BIO in the chat box. Okay, so let's move forward. The first one is visible employees are 13 times more likely to be promoted than their peers. Visible employees are 20% more likely to receive higher compensation than their peers. Visible employees are 30% more likely to be considered for new projects and opportunities. If this was an eye opener for you, type EO in the chat box. Then do you want to be visible? Because the results are here. Correct? Now there's another research institute called Hinge Research Institute. This is a research and advisory firm that helps professional services firms, correct? And they tried putting visibility and expertise as a 4-blocker and tried talking about how does it help mid-career professionals, which we are, correct? So generally when there's a 4-blocker, correct? What happens at the 4-blocker? The first left side top is low on expertise, high on visibility. It means that he does not know or she does not know what to do, but very high on visibility, correct? They are like crazily killing all the limelight and all that, everything comes to them. But when actual work is given, they drop the ball. The other aspect is low expertise and low visibility. These are the ones that people select to put them off. Either recession, economic slowdown, layoffs, or whatever. These are the people that will be the first ones to go. The other one, high expertise, low visibility. What will happen to these people? You tell me what happens to these people who have high expertise and low visibility. What happens to these people? Because they have high expertise, they get more work. Not considered for previous slides. Yes. No growth. Exploitation. They get overwhelmed. Correct. Thanks for putting all these things correct. Not considered for stays with the company with low pay, no growth, exploitation. What else? What else? Only few, no growth. Yeah. This is the most frustrating block to be in. No compensation up to the mark. This is the most frustrating block to be in. This is like an overwhelmed every time. More and more work comes, no growth happens, no recognition happens. They can't showcase their work, they feel frustrated. Yes. Low visibility means nobody knows you. You are that hidden gem, which is 50, 100 feet down. Nobody knows you, but you are good at work. Your manager and all that get the work done from you. Nobody knows you around. Now tell me what happens to this block. We'll talk about Yusuf. What happens to this block? High expertise and high visibility. Hot cake. Maximum growth. Best of promotions and growth. Yeah. What else? How about others? Gem of company. A great professional life. Amazing. They are called visible experts. Critical employees for the company. They are called visible experts because they have expertise. They are thought leaders. They network and they market themselves. Correct? Now you tell me, there are two companies that I talk about. Let me talk about this one. Correct? Tesla and Toyota. Two car companies. Have you any time seen Toyota giving an ad for Tesla or Tesla giving an ad for Toyota? In short, does Tesla promote Toyota or does Toyota promote Tesla? Do they do? No. No. Never. No, no, no. You tell me, why will your boss, why will your peer, and why will your stakeholder promote you? Or talk about you or do an advertisement for you? Because each brand is dependent on itself. Correct? But that's an ideal time, Shahid bhai. I wish world was like that. But the way we are living in the world, everybody is busy in their own life. They don't think, either they talk about others. And why should I even leave Why should I even leave the chance on somebody else to talk about myself? I should be talking about myself, correct? It is me, my career, my life, my dream, my, aspirations. Why am I giving or outsourcing that to somebody else and expecting them to do it? Why would I even rely on them? If they give push, great. If they don't give, wonderful, because I know how I want to do. And everybody, all of us on the call understand this is really, really important. But where are we hiding? What are your blockers? See? Half-hearted praise. That's what I'm saying. Why am I even depending on that person? And I can't rely on other person to talk about me. Correct? But what are my blockers? Where am I hiding? I am hiding behind fear of being judged. I am hiding there. What will others think? Will they agree to what I am saying? Or I am hit by lack of confidence. I don't even have confidence in me that whatever I am saying is right. What if it goes wrong? What if I speak something which is not relevant? What will happen? The other deadliest thing that we do is time constraint. I don't have time. This is the worst of all. You're fooling yourself if you say you don't have time. Sorry for harsh word, but there is no other better word. Because you tell me spending some time to network is important, or staying stagnant for years together and not getting promoted. Is that time waste? You're okay to spend that additional 2 years of your life with less salary, less promotion, less growth, but you don't have time because you're stuck in that thing, correct? No visibility, low visibility and high expertise. And we are fooling ourselves for that. And the most is we are not even clear about what should be my visibility goal. It is hazy. Correct? I'll tell you one important thing. If you've not paid attention throughout, now pay attention to this one. Correct? There is this research done by Harvard Business Review 2021 involving 500 Fortune companies. These people went to managers and all that and spoke. Correct? 60% of the managers did not know or could not remember what their teams did. I repeat, 60% managers did not know or could not remember what their teams did. And these are the same people who decide on our bonuses, promotions. Isn't that a big problem? If this was a truth bomb, TB in the chat box. Type TB in the chat box. 60%. It means more than half of them don't even know what their teams do, or they don't remember what their teams do. I am not putting these words. These are, you can search Harvard Business Review 2021. Again, you'll get to know a lot of it. Now, let me know, do you want to know the secret to combat this? BIO. Thank you. Thank you, Abdul Mujib. Type BIO in the chat box. Type BIO in the chat box if you want to know the secret. There are 3 important secrets. Okay. I'll wind up by 12:30, so don't worry. Another 13 minutes and we'll wind up. Okay. Secrets of visibility. The first one is to be seen. To be seen. Events, office events and all that. Because post-COVID, we've gone into shell. Any networking events, we don't want to go. I'm working from home. Who will go? What is this? I don't like the food. The distance is so far. Who will go? Nobody else will come. Why should I go? I don't have dress. Why should I go? I don't have enough appropriate clothing. What fun going meeting them. I meet every day on calls, no? An amazing thing that we all do. Off video during office calls. 2 reasons for it. I am not prepared for the call to show up with good dressing. Or I am in my shell. I don't want to break that shell. If I am appropriately dressed for the occasion, why am I not on video? You also have backgrounds and all that, no? Shouldn't matter a lot. Have an headphone and voice cancellation. Nobody else will know what's happening at the back end. Why are we not on video? Because I'll tell you, put this in your brain, correct? Out of sight, out of mind. I repeat, out of sight, out of mind. Nobody takes out time to remember you. They don't have so much time for you. And you're not a celebrity to do it. Another one, be heard. You're called for important meetings and this calls and that call. You don't even speak. If you don't even speak, then who will know your expertise? You know the answer is right, but you don't want to tell on the call. I don't know why. And why are you even on the call? Then you can't even speak and you don't want to speak. If you have a solution, straight put it up. People, because they invited you to share your expertise and you're quiet, not even telling it. How will people know your expertise? You should be telling people. And be known for your expertise. Tell others what you're good at. If you don't, zero visibility. Nobody will know your expertise. Get the work done and do it. If you don't remember anything from today, remember this. You need to be seen. You need to be heard. You need to be known for your work. If this was a mind-blowing slide, type MB in the chat box. I'll tell you one amazing thing. Silent hard work is career suicide. Silent hard work is career suicide. You're doing great work, fantastic. But if nobody knows about it, it is like it never happened. Correct? When you know this, we'll step into the last phase of our session. Correct? Create outstanding workplace performance. Okay. Any project you pick up, there are these 4 different aspects that you will have to go through. There are only 4 different aspects. It will be a combination of 4, or it could be 4 different aspects as a metric that will come. Do you want to know what are those 4 different aspects or outcomes? Type BIO in the chat box if you want to know. Such a simple thing, we've always heard about it. Correct? One is quality. Another one is cost. Another one is time. Another one is customer satisfaction. Any project you do, any additional task you pick up, anything that you do, it revolves around only 4 things. You're trying to make change to each of them, either of them, or collective of them. But this is the impact. So when you are picking up any project, always ask your manager what exactly is the outcome that they are expecting. Work as per their outcome, not as per your outcome. Ask them how do they want the reporting to be as per their wish, not your wish. I'll tell you. As per their wish, not your wish. Because they are the stakeholders and they want to decide the success or a failure of the project. So you go and contact them. Don't run independently on your own, you will get killed. That's why nobody recognizes even after you completed the project. Then Q is for quality. Either you are improving the quality in any project that you pick up, or you're reducing the cost, you're saving the time, or at the end it will be a customer satisfaction project that you do. Correct? At the end, everything wavers around this one from a project standpoint. Be very clear about what is the outcome expected. They are not asking you to develop a tool. They are telling by developing a tool, you will improve one of these pieces for the organization. So talk about that. This is just a vehicle to go. Destination is to make an impact. So be clear what is the vehicle and what is the outcome, and always talk about your outcome in these aspects. And that's how you will make an amazing impact. They're not asking you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That anybody can do. Writing a code, developing a system that ChatGPT is doing anyhow. They're not looking at that. They're looking at the outcome. What outcome are you giving them back? If this was clear in your mind, type CM in the chat box. And don't pick up any other project that is wasting your time. if you can't create an impact. Don't fill your plate with unnecessary garbage where you're not able to make an impact. That's it for today. This is what I had. And yeah, recording will be there. It's very informative point, sir. Okay. Thank you so much. But I have a small request at the end, correct, that I would want to make. Do you want more? Because this information seems to be intruding and there's a lot of eye openers for you, correct? Do you want to know more about it? Yes. Okay. Yes. And how you can apply these steps in a regular way and elevate your career. Because I run a program called Elevate Your Career. If you want to know a lot more about it at a peanuts, because I do it with an NGO. If you want to join, you can contact me here on these. That's my number, WhatsApp. You can ping me. I have a Linktree link which are related to my social media, and you have LinkedIn. Sure. Now, keeping everything in mind, correct? Now tell me, out of 5, what will you rate this session for? Out of 5. Put it in the chat box. 5. Thank you. 4.8. Thank you. 5. Hey, we did personal branding already. We talk about your visibility. No, it is important to be visible. But you want me to cover in depth? Probably, you can get in touch with me offline and we can talk about it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll catch up.
Jazakallah, Arif bhai. So it was a very amazing session. A lot of eye-opening opportunities here for all of us. It was a lot of engaging session. I think a lot of learning from this session we had today. And thanks to all the participants who joined this session, taking out your uh, leisure time of a great Sunday. So I request the participant, if you are expert of any topic or any expertise you have, if you want to share with the forum, so you can reach out to me at this number. I'm sharing my number here. Okay. And as I said, the recordings are going to be available in tinyurl.com/MFID. So Jazakallah. Thanks a lot.
Jazakallah khair. Sure.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.